the entire life of many people. In fact, many young people became adults driving by this place and being reminded that it's a failure, that what we once had is gone, and that we are seemingly sentenced to forever look at an empty, blighted piece of land as a reminder that we've lost something. When we began to acquire this land, those early steps, we did it with the idea that maybe, just maybe, if we treated the land properly, that nature would take over and return it to something beautiful. As crazy as that sounded to some, I never imagined today, I never imagined that it would be, even now, as beautiful as it is. And then we would have a governor with the vision and the fortitude and the will to say we can even do more. We can make this a state park. What an amazing moment this is. For those of us who have lived through this is really important. It says to me that vision matters and leadership matters. It makes such a difference. You know, I worked really hard to get the American Rescue Plan enacted. And one of the reasons I did that is because I had the confidence in our local officials and in this governor that they would use those dollars consistent with the values and the vision of the people of our communities. And this moment today is an example of that. So what I say, reaching back a couple of decades when we first imagined something not quite this spectacular, I say to the governor, thank you. Thank you for thinking about us when it came to using those dollars, and thinking about something that many people in this state take for granted, that you can have beautiful things. There's no reason, there never has been a reason, that the people of Flint can't have something like this, something beautiful that is ours. So thank you, Governor. This is really something. With that, I'll turn it over to the chairman of the County Board of Commissioners, my old job, and a good friend for a long, long time, Mark Young.
I tell you, I really want to thank everybody for coming here. I was a little concerned on my way here that I might be a little bit late. You know, I tried coming down 69 a few days back, and you know what happened? I run into construction. So I decided today I'm going to take 475 down. What happens? I run into construction. You know, so then earlier I was driving down Saginaw, and what happens? I run into construction. So I want to get this out right in the beginning. Thank you, Governor Whitmer, for fixing these damn roads. So, that's amazing to me. It really kind of, you know, touches my heart to see everything, to see everybody here. Talking about being local, when I was born, we lived on Patrick Street, just a couple blocks from here. So again, I'm a local boy, but I do live in, represent Grand Blanc, Atlas Townships. I represent the entire county commission as the chairman, that I have the luxury of holding that seat for another 5.5 months anyway. You know, looking at what's happened here in this area, remembering what Chevy in the Hole was, I used to walk down Kersley Street when I was a young kid, you know, just looking at the factory and how big that place was. And I was always amazed with it. When I saw it getting tore down, and then the eyesore, and you know, I hate to say it, but I think GM kind of ripped out a lot of our hearts when they tore down some of these major factories, Chevy in the Hole, Buick City, AC Spark Plug, and to see what was left was just a big chunk of concrete that we looked at as far as we could see. And you know, when I first got on the Board of Commissioners almost 10 years ago, one of the seats I got appointed to was on the land bank, and that's where Commissioner Nolden and I got together and first started conspiring to try to see what we could do, and we said, we don't know, but we did have a champion working for the county at that time, Amy McMillan, trying to, that would bring a big vision to what this place could be for us. And so we've always tried to work to make that better. Through the land bank, we came in and we were able to put soil on top of this, to put the grass and the natural flowers out here that we don't mow, right, Barry? So, and you know, these beautiful walk and bike paths here that's going to connect other areas of the state of Michigan here. You know, and again, this is never done by one individual. I mean, I see so many faces here that have had parts of this process that have worked with us. Commissioner Ellenberg on the land bank, Mike Lynch, former county commissioner and park commissioner that's worked on it. Joe Crapo, Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund has been very active on trying to help us develop this area and have a long-term park. You know, but again, I'll keep coming back to, you know, who was the big visionary on this was a person that tried to make sure that Genesee County had the best and biggest parks in the state of Michigan as far as any county went. And again, that was Amy McMillan. So this park may have a name of a Flintstone as we go forward, but I would really hope that we don't forget to recognize Amy's efforts in this, and maybe maybe call the pathway the Amy McMillan pathway, that type of thing. So just to recognize all the work that she did. And again, without having the governor come in and say, how come we only have 82 county parks or state parks in 82 out of 83 counties? Without that kind of question, we wouldn't be here today to say thank you for the efforts and the involvement. You know, thanks to Dan Kildee for all the efforts that he's done to get funding in here for other projects. So, you know, literally I can spend all day thanking every one of you because it does touch my heart. So, thank you. Next speaker I want to introduce is another guy that's done a lot for this, and that's Ridgway White. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and thanks for the county on your leadership on this. I look around here, there's all these folks that are focused on making Flint a great and better place to live, and this is one place to do this. The Flint River is 142 miles long. And for over 2 decades now, we've really thought about the Flint River as this Chevy in the whole wasteland. And today, it's a beautiful environment, and thanks to many of the folks here, it's going to be even better, and we can imagine even more. But I think that this state park shows that Flint has the beauty of any place in the northern and upper peninsula. Not walk the Flint River, kayak it, you'll see bald eagles, you'll see amazing sights on this river just right here that exist everywhere in Michigan, and it's here and it's accessible to folks living in Flint, and that's the most important thing, is that these parks become accessible to all residents of Michigan, and we're excited about that, and excited about the vision and excitement that comes from the possibility of imagining a state park in Flint. Some of the folks I do need to thank, Amy Hovey from the Mott Foundation, who's been pushing this project on our behalf. We've committed about $5 million to date to this project, to helping restore Chevy Commons and thinking about the long-term planning before there was even an idea of a state park. And also the land bank, as Congressman Kildee mentioned. Barry June of the county parks, couldn't have done it without you. Just terrific work. Hagerman Foundation, Phil took everybody out to Colorado, a few people out to Colorado, and made us go down rapids and things like that, and that was exciting. Rebecca Fedwa of the Flint River Watershed Coalition, which they're going to have a new headquarters nearby over here at some point pretty soon. She's been a tireless advocate for the Flint River and the Flint River Watershed Coalition. So appreciate all the hard work that everybody's doing. I can't wait to see more residents enjoying this, all the excitement, all the ideas that are going to come from imagining what a state park and what, forget the name. What is it going to be? How is the character going to be developed of a state park? Every state park has its own little character, own little thing, and this place is going to be just spectacular. So thank you, Governor. Really appreciate everything you're doing, and love to introduce Representative John Perry.
And thank you, Ridgeway, for all the investment that you guys have put into not only this project, but projects across the city and the county. This truly is a historic investment in Flint and Genesee County. And we need to thank our Congressman, Dan Kildee, for fighting for these dollars, the ARP dollars, and our governor for deciding to utilize those dollars to help our community. Thank you both of you. About 10 years ago, I remember coming out here in the summer, working with, at that time, Jannard Bernash, to set up a tour for a gentleman by the name of Rodney Stokes, from Hamilton Dam all the way down to the end of Chevy in the Hole here, Rodney Stokes being the former director of the Michigan DNR, and having the conversation about what the state can bring to this site. And I am very grateful for the work that we're doing today, because the state really has pioneered a model, as Ron was talking about before, looking at what happened in Detroit. And really, that state nonprofit local partnership has led to a rebirth of the riverfront in Detroit. And there's a lot of aspects to that model, but one of the key ones is the state putting an anchor and making an investment and a commitment to stay right there and work to develop that riverfront into something that's an asset for the community. And I'm so grateful that the discussion that happened, beginning with our congressman when he was county treasurer and started the land bank and was acquiring these properties, and through all the way to the county and the state, is finally coming to fruition under our governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And again, Governor, thank you very much. One of the things that you'll notice about Michigan is all of our major cities have a particular feature, and that is a river that runs through it. You can think of Detroit, you can think of Grand Rapids, or Lansing, or Flint, or Saginaw, or Bay City, or Jackson, the list goes on. And that was because our natural features really define our community. And when those cities really were developed 100 years ago, that river was providing the power for the industry. Now, we don't utilize rivers in the same way today, but communities that have success are communities that have found other ways to utilize those rivers. So if you look across our nation, actually, great cities have great waterfronts. Ask yourself, what's Chicago without its waterfront, right? What is San Antonio without the Riverwalk? What's Cincinnati? These cities utilize their rivers to become assets of economic progress and community progress. And we see that in Michigan, whether it's Detroit or Traverse City or Petoskey. Petoskey's riverfront was as industrialized as Flint's riverfront. And so what we're doing here is investing in the future prosperity of our community. Now, whenever I work on a project, and this is one that, as is dear to the congressman, is very, very dear to me, having spent 8 years at the DNR and wanting to see this happen for a very long time. Whenever I work on a project, the question that I try to ask myself is, when my 4-year-old daughter is my age, what is she going to see from the work that I'm doing? What's that vision? What is she going to be proud of? And so I think on this project, I look around, 30 years from now, I see small businesses built on either side of the former Chevy in the Hole, new houses, new residents looking down on here. I see connections to all parts of the city, whether that's a bike trail that goes off Chevrolet and DuPont, or the Genesee Valley Trail to Flint Township, or the Grand Traverse Greenway to South Flint, or the Flint River Trail up through Kearsley Park, Whaley Park, and Rollingwood. I see connections across our county into other counties, where you could put a canoe or a kayak in up at Mott Reservoir and go all the way down through Flushing, Montrose, or if you wanted to, the National Wildlife Refuge up in just south of Saginaw. Yeah, and I also think about maybe 30 years from now, I'll be able to pop out a lawn chair right there, watch the fireworks in July with my grandchild. Maybe afterwards we can catch some fireflies out here, because all the work that has been done, that we are doing today, and that we're going to do in the future along this riverfront. Now, anything that we do of significance for our community is not the product of one person, one investment. It's really the product of 1,000 hands, and this is no exception. We've had great support from our governor, our congressman, our philanthropic community, and I am so appreciative of that. But this, where we are today, is really built upon the work of tons of people, whether that's folks from the Land Bank, or the Watershed Coalition, or the Flint Corridor Alliance, our county parks, the city of Flint, our educational institutions, Kettering, U of M Flint, the DNR, our neighborhood groups who've been pushing for projects, whether it's Trails Connections or this project itself, and really hundreds and thousands of community residents, engaged citizens who want to see their community a better place. So I just want to say, for all those people who have put in hard work, thank you. Thank you for the hard work you've done. Thank you for the hard work you're doing. And thank you for the hard work that you're going to be doing over the next years to realize a beautiful vision for our city. Thank you very much. And with that, I think we're turning it over to Sam Kennedy.
All right. I'm happy to answer a few questions from the press, or anyone for that matter. Yeah, go ahead.
How will the naming process work?
I'm going to ask the mayor to come on up. Go ahead.
We develop a polling site in the City of Flint, our communications department. People will be able to submit on our website their recommendations for a name. It'll be not only open to the City of Flint residents, but also to the countywide. We will go through that process, and then the city will when we have other topics, but this will be a question that we can ask as well. Thank you.
All right. Others? Go ahead. You look like you might have a question. Go ahead.
I think it might be for Mayor Daley, but what kind of timeline are we looking at? Are we looking at soon, a couple of years? How quick?
Well, this is a work in progress. You know, many times I've heard the saying that, you know, if you have a vision without the resources, it's more like a hallucination. So we have the resources now, and so we're putting everything into the planning processes, and now we're developing our sketches and the layout of how it's going to look. So that the timing is going to be relevant on how all those things come to bear, the resources coming in line with the planning process. And so we're looking within probably 2022, latter part, or sometime in that area, to be able to really finish all the work that we need to do.
Yes, there'll be more information. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
Governor, 650,000 people, we just learned, are going to have to pay back their unemployment insurance agency wages that they were given. How did that happen, and then how are you going to enforce them to be able to pay that back?
So I want to clarify something. The federal government changed some of the rules about how you can qualify for the unemployment. So they're requiring that we reach out to people who received unemployment, give them the opportunity to check one of the boxes that are approved by the federal government so that they don't have to repay. So we do not anticipate that all these people are going to have to repay their federal benefits. They are going to need to fill out a form and fill it out so that they are properly have received them. So it's really a paperwork issue. It is a pain. It is frustrating, and trust me, I would prefer not to go through this, but when the federal government tells us we've got to have it in these columns, one of these 3 columns, we've got to ask the people of our state to just fill out that paperwork. But we really anticipate that very few people, if any, will have to repay, but they will have to get the paperwork done.
Oh, mine's off topic. What is your thought process about approving or denying the Little River Band's petition to expand or open a new gaming facility at the former Muskegon racetrack?
So the application has come in. I know that my legal team is working with the Attorney General's office, and we're reviewing. No determination's been made. I would anticipate we'll continue to follow our process, and I can't give you a timeline, but we're taking a look.
Thank you.
Governor, you will announce the first winner in the My Shot to Win sweepstakes later today.
Yeah, did you register?
I did.
All right.
Vaccinated, and
This
I
could
did
be your last day.
Maybe.
Draw my name.
But our question is, obviously it's a great effort to try to get people to get vaccinated. We're seeing a number of surges because of the Delta variant. But yet this sweepstakes seems to have not encouraged a lot of people to get that first shot. The numbers have actually dropped. Can you comment on that? Was it a good use of the money? Do you still see this as a success?
Absolutely, it is a success, and I think if you look at some of the initial reports, Bloomberg reported yesterday that Michigan's vaccinations were up 135%, where almost every other state in the nation has seen a drop. So we knew that it's incremental improvement at this juncture. Our modeling always told us we were going to get to this point. This is one more tool to encourage people to get vaccinated. The Delta variant is real, and it is a threat, and you see southern states who haven't had the same kind of aggressive efforts that we have are really struggling now. We're all better when we all get vaccinated, and that's why every tool we have that goes into encouraging, educating, and helping make it accessible is really important for all of our health. So we do think that this is making a difference, and if you look at that Bloomberg report, you can see that it has really improved our vaccination numbers.
Just one quick follow-up. How concerned are you and Dr. David? I mean, we saw weeks of decline in daily cases, and now we're starting to see them go up. It's still under 1,000, but it was a significant increase based on what we've seen.
Yeah, you look at the national map, that's true all across the country. Viruses mutate, and that's why it's been so important that we take this seriously, that we all do our part, that people avail themselves of these vaccines. They truly are miraculous, and it is still a safeguard against this Delta variant. Now, at some point, the more people that continue to catch COVID, the more likelihood that we will see this virus mutate, and perhaps at some point the vaccines may not be as effective. That's why we're in a race against the mutation, and we've got to get more people vaccinated. We believe in science. We know that there are still people that have legitimate questions. We want to get those answered, because this, you look at the hospitalizations, and I think it was Dr. Fauci was saying, it's an infinitesimal number of people that are hospitalized that have been vaccinated. It's largely unvaccinated people who are getting sick and getting hospitalized, and that's why we want to encourage people to get vaccinated now. All right. All right, well, good luck on the sweepstakes. We'll see if you win. Thanks, everybody.
I have one more minute. Can I sneak
Sure.
one more in?
Okay.
The president has asked that states use COVID relief money to help fight crime, and Flint right now has a rising crime problem. I know the mayor is here as well. Are you guys looking at ways to take the president up on this desire to see that some of that money invested in that way?
We are. We take very seriously the public safety, public health. I mean, these are the basics. This is the most important thing that we, I think, need government to do. And so we're working with our law enforcement leaders. We're working with prosecutors. We're also working to address the, I think, things that contribute to higher crime, right? For income insecurity, food insecurity. So there are a lot of pieces to solving this. We are working very closely with our local partners, with our law enforcement expertise, and with community leaders, because this is something that we do take very seriously, and we're watching, and it's happening all across the country. We've come out of an incredibly tough, stressful period of time. We know that we've got a lot of work to do. We're making headway, but this is one aspect that we will continue to work on closely at all levels of government. Thank you.
Can I just comment on that? It's an important question. I think it's important to point out that in the American Rescue Plan, not only do we supply these important resources to the state, but we supply resources directly to local governments, which allow them to deploy those dollars consistent with their needs. And in many cases, because we're able to relieve pressure in one aspect of, say, a city or county government, that allows them to continue to invest in policing. So while there's this big, sort of national debate about policing, the truth of the matter is we know we need to invest in policing. And it's, frankly, not to be overly partisan, Democrats in the House and the Senate, without any Republican support, delivered money to states, but also to local governments to help deal with that issue. We don't only solve crime with policing. We solve crime by reinvesting in communities, creating opportunity, reinstating some sense of hope. And that's what we're here to celebrate today. So yes, we do need to fight crime. We fight it on every front, and these dollars are helping to do that.
Thank you, brother.
Gary wants to make sure you got a chance to say hi to the actually bring you up. I will.
Good. Constituents.